Hi guys, welcome back to another video. This is Fully Painted Miniatures. My name is Drogs, and we're going up against Crooked Mask today, expert difficulty. This is my 7th attempt. I still don't feel like I have a dialed in good, great strategy for him yet, so I ended up changing out 3 of my cards from the previous game. But I do feel pretty good about this one. Just strong store in general. I'm still keeping the same mages, once again, Brahma and Kadir. So Brahma has her special ability, which allows her to heal 4, and Kadir allows you to pull 3 spell cards from your discard and double prep to your breaches. So this is just a really solid store overall, and a little bit more expensive than most I usually do, but we're going to see how it goes. So we're going to start with Sifter's Pearl. 3 cost, gain 2 Aether. Allows me to reveal top card of the deck and choose to discard if I feel like it. Sifter's Pearl, it's worth 2 Aether, plus 1 towards the purchase of the spell. Cost 4. And this is the most expensive gem, Clouded Sapphire. 6 cost, generates 3 power, but it also gives your ally a charge. Focusing Orb. Focus either Mage's Breach, or you can destroy it to give 3 life to Gravehold. Mage's Talisman, cost 5, gives you and your ally mage each a charge. And Ignite, 4 cost spell, deals 2 damage, and ally gains a charge. Seeing a theme here? Trying to get my special abilities into play. I don't get enough cards to effectively deal with him, so the only real way to get around that is your special ability, which are more powerful than any card in the game. So, Oblivion Swell, 5 cost. Once prepped, it will generate an additional Aether. It deals 2 damage, plus you can discard a gem card to deal additional damage. So that would go from 2 damage to 5 with the Pearl, 6 with the Ruby, or 8 with the Sapphire. And in a 3rd or 4th breach, that could potentially be 9 damage from a single card. Chaos Arc is 6 cost spell, deals 3 damage, plus 2 for each prepped spell and an adjacent breach. So that could be 3, 5, or 7. You can also get the plus 1 from the 3rd breach for that. What's really cool about this one, this is the most high damage spell in the game, I believe, if you're using Kadir's special ability, because you can double prep. So I can have a Chaos Arc potentially in the 3rd breach, and then have 2 in the 4th and 2 in the 3rd. And you can actually, or 2 in the 2nd, and you can put 2 in the 3rd too, so you can double up. So if I did that, it would be 3 plus 1 from the 3rd, making it 4, and then I would get an additional 8. So it would be a 12 damage spell. If I had 6, and if I had 6 cards breached with 2 Chaos Arcs, they would each be 12 damage, plus whatever the other 4 are. So 24 plus whatever that 4 would be. So you can set up a massive turn using these with her special ability. And then Arcane Nexus. 7 cost, deals 4 damage, but it allows you to double use a gem in your hand during that turn. And you can use that during the turn you prep. Anyway, so everything's shuffled, good to go. We're going to get started. Kadir's going to start. She's going to prep Spark, and she's going to pay 4 Searing Ruby. Nemesis goes. Skewer, Unleash. Any player suffers 3 damage and then draws a card. Okay. I'm going to Brahma take that. And we get Brahma's turn. She's going to prep Buried Light, and I start with 5 power. I'm going to buy Mage's Talisman. I love getting them Mage's Talismans this early in the game. Okay, Nemesis is going to go again. Tempt. Player with the most crystals in their hand. This is Kadir. He's going to discard 3. Then takes 3 damage. Moves her with 7. And gains a card from any supply pile costing 4 or less. So I can take an Ignite, a Focusing Orb, or a Searing Ruby. She's going to take a Focusing Orb. Ooh, nope, she's going to take a second Ruby. Change my mind. And it is her turn. She's going to cast Spark for 1. Bring him to 69. She'll prep 1 Spark. The other Spark just remains. 1, 2, 3, 4. And we get Brahma's turn. She's going to cast Buried Light. It's going to do 1 damage. Crooked Mask, bring him to 68. Also generates a power. And she has a total of 3 power. I'll buy Sifter's Pearl. She will prep 1 Spark. She will use Mage's Talisman. It generates a charge for each mage. So that I like. First round and I'm already getting charges. And the other Spark will remain. So definitely not a typical start. Usually you can math it out a little bit better. But Crooked Mask's cards, I mean, he screws up all your plans. That's kind of what he does. He makes it's really, really, really hard to strategize against him. You kind of just have to do the best with what you get. He's just so random. I really struggled against him actually in normal difficulty too. But that was partly because I was using randomizer cards and so I had a random store. And having a random store when he's doing all these random things too, you just have like no control over what's going on. So we're going to start with Brahma. She's going to cast Spark. Deal 1 damage. She'll prep Spark, and she has 4 power. And she will buy a Ruby. Nemesis is going to go. Bleed Static, power 3. Player with the most prep spells suffers 2 damage for each of their prep spells. Nemesis goes again. Remove 1 power token. And we get the Corruptor. 6 life. Deals 1 damage to Gravehold every activation. Let me move these up a little bit. And every time you attack him, you damage him, you draw a corruption card. So we get Brahma. She gets Spark off, dealing 1 damage to Crooked Mask. She's going to prep Buried Light. And she's going to generate 5 power. And the Sifter's Pearl allows to discard. And with that 5 power, she's going to buy another Mage's Talisman. All right, Kadir has a Corruption card. Suffer 1 damage. That brings her from 7 to 6. And she may bring a crystal back. All right, she's going to cast Spark for 1. Brings Crooked Mask to 65. She will then prep Spark. And she generates 5 power, 6 towards a spell, and will buy a Chaos Arc. And Kadir gets to go again. Cast Spark, 1 damage to Crooked Mask. Emerald, well, let's see what we got. That's worth 5, 6 towards a spell. And I couldn't get the +1 from the Emerald Shard if I want. So I could grab an Arcane Nexus. Or a Clouded Sapphire. And I will do that. Sapphire. I want those special abilities. I don't even care that I don't have any spells right now. There is no essence theft in this game. So until I get those special abilities up, the only way to heal is through that Emerald Shard. And that's not going to cut it. So that means I have... Brahma has 2 Mage's Talismans, and Kadir has a Clouded Sapphire. Pretty good. I need to get some focusing orbs, though. And I would like to get Brahma Clouded Sapphire as well. Nemesis is going to go first. Bleed Static activates, or not activates, gets a power token. Corruptor is going to do 1 damage to Gravehold, brings us down to 29. And we get Haze Spewer. So that's the primary target from now on. Haze Spewer has 5 life. He deals damage equal to his life to Gravehold, and then takes 1 damage on each activation. So hopefully we don't get another Nemesis card. Rough. Okay, Bleed Static goes off. It's going to do 2 damage to Brahma. Luckily she only had 1 card activated. Corruptor's going to do 1 damage. Haze Spear does 5. So that does 6 damage to Gravehold, bringing us to 23. That does do 1 damage to the Haze Spear, however. But he still gets to draw a card. Players collectively gain 2 corruption cards and place them on top of their decks. So 1, 2, there's no shuffle. And any player then focuses a breach. Brahma's going to focus her 4th breach. That's the easiest one for her to open, actually. So, okay. Brahma does get a turn. She's going to cast Buried Light, 1 damage to the Haze Spear. That generates a power too. She'll prep Spark. And Mage's Talisman will be used. 1 charge for each. And so we have 4 power, 5 towards the spell. Oh, no, plus the Buried Light. So that's 5 power, 6 towards the spell. Five power sounds like another Mage's Talisman to me. Or grab Chaos Art. Yeah. Mage's Talisman. So now she has 3 Mage's Talisman, which is fantastic. Okay, Kadir's turn. She has Contagion, suffer 1 damage. Return any card from your deck to your hand. We're going to do a crystal that costs 0. Actually, I can do Emerald Shard. I didn't even think of that. Emerald Shard. Boom. Alright, she will prep Chaos Arc. And then Searing Ruby. So that's worth 3. So I'm going to use this as a crystal, I guess. I was going to use it to heal. So 4 towards the spell, and she will buy an Ignite. Can't do anything with the crystals. Or the sparks, sorry. 3, so I only draw 3. Still gets a corruption. Unfortunate. And she does get to go again. Corruption goes first. Discard 2 non-corruption cards. 2 sparks. Suffer 2 damage. That drops her to 3 health. Not good. And shuffle a player turn order card back into the deck. So that's nice. I'm going to give this to Brahma, because it's not going to come up for a while for her, whereas Kadir is going to come up very soon. Okay, and then that's her turn. So I will cast Chaos Arc for 3 damage, which will kill the Haze Spear. So that's good. And then with these 2, I will just simply buy a charge. So that gives her 3 charges. Yeah, there's 2. Okay. I love seeing a ruby and a sapphire next to each other in their hands. Something just very pretty about the artwork. A lot of the times I will just play with jade, ruby, sapphire, just because I like the artwork. That green, red, blue looks so pretty together. Okay, we do get Kadir again. She will prep a spark. Sapphire, ruby, 2 crystals. So that's 5, 6, 7 power. 8 towards the spell, which is pretty cool. Is that right? 5, 6, 7? Yep. So I can grab... I will actually grab an Ignite and a Focusing Orb. And that generates a charge for Brahma. So that's good. They both have 3 charges now. And Brahma has a Mage's Talisman. Oh. Yep. 2, 3, 4, 5. Inscription cards. Okay. It is Brahma's turn. Corruption first. Suffer 2 damage. That brings her down to 3. So both my mages are down to 3 life. Place a gem from the least expensive supply pile in your hand. So that's Sifter's Pearl. She will then cast Spark for 1 damage to Crooked Mask. Brings them to 63. She will use Mage's Talisman. That gives a charge to each herself and Kadir. So that's good. And then I can prep a spark and then generate 4 power. I really want to just use 2. Yeah, okay. So I'm just going to buy 2 charges. I'm buy the first charge, activate her special ability, heal herself 4. Which will bring her from 3 to 7. And then I will buy another charge with the other 2. So that leaves her with 1. And because of the Sifter's Pearl, they both get 2 with their top card. They will both hold on to those. 2, 3. So that's why I was so happy to get those Mage's Talismans early like that. I'm still in tier 1 cards, and I got my special ability off. And I needed it. Oh, man, I need it again. I got to heal Kadir. Yeah. Biggest downside so far, I only have 1 breach open for each mage. But, got 3 mages tokens, a couple rubies, a couple Sifter Pearls, 1 sapphire. What did I get? 1 focusing orb? Yeah. And I have 1 Chaos Arc for Kadir, and I think she has 2, yeah, 2 ignites. So, I would still like to get 1 sapphire for Brahma, and then I want to grab some focusing orbs, and otherwise it's basically just spells at this point. Start getting those Chaos Arcs and Arcane Nexuses, focusing orbs. Otherwise, pretty good. So I feel a lot better about this game than I have in my others. All right, Kadir's going first. First, we do Contagion. She takes 1 damage, drops her to 2. Return any card that costs 0 to your hand. She does not have the emerald in there, so that's a crystal. And we're going to move that to Brahma, since she only has 2 life. She will cast Spark for 1 damage to Crooked Mask. She will prep Ignite. Now there's only 2 spells in her discard pile, so I don't want to use her special ability just yet. How many does Brahma have? 1 spark, so I don't want to do that either. Okay, so I have 3, 5, 6 towards a spell. So I can grab a Mage's Talisman or a Chaos Arc. Chaos Arc. She needs Chaos Arcs. That's where that combo really comes in. I just need focusing orbs. So I don't have to pay so much to open up all my breaches. Alright, Nemesis does get to activate. 1 damage to Gravehold from the Corruptor. And Pulverizing Ray. Power 1, Gravehold suffers 18 damage. Players may collectively discard up to 6 gems, preventing 3 damage for each gem that they discard. Alright, we do get Kadir first. She will cast Ignite for 2 damage. Yeah, she'll hit the Corruptor with it. Brings them from 6 to 4. Gives me a Corruption card. She will then prep Chaos Arc. Not a good turn. She will use the Emerald Shard to heal herself 1. And Crystal just gets discarded. She ends up holding on to the last 2 sparks. Yeah, not much of a turn. Okay, Nemesis card goes. So first, Gravehold takes 1 damage. And then Pulverizing Ray activates. So that's not good. 4 gems, 5 gems. All get discarded. And that still gives 3 damage to Gravehold. Drops me from 21 to 18. And then they still get a card. Vex. Discard the top 2 cards of the Nemesis deck. Dispel. Ooh, nice. And Needle Ball. Neither of those are tier 3. So that's good. Alright, Brahma. I cast Spark. 1 damage. Directly to Crooked Mask. Prep Buried Light, and that's her turn. Can't do anything else. Like that. She does get to go again. Cast Buried Light, 1 damage again to Crooked Mask. It also generates a power. But we're going to use both Mage's Talismans first. Which is 2 charges for each. So that gives Kadir enough for her special ability. I'm going to buy first. So this is 4, 5 towards a spell. And she will buy Oblivion Swell. Now, this is her whole deck, so she should have... Wow, she has no spells. Just sparks. I'm just going to... Yeah. I may have been a mistake not to use that to heal to Kadir, but we'll see. Corruptor is going to do 1 damage. Drops me 17. I feel like I made a mistake somewhere. Unleash twice, any player suffers 2 damage. Brahma's going to take the 2 damage. I need to open a breach with her because I can't even if I use her ability to pull 3 spell cards. Well, Brahma doesn't have any spell cards, so I'd only be pulling out sparks, so that's just a complete waste. And even if I did it on either of them, Brahma or Kadir, they can only prep 2. So what would be the point? You know, I need at least 2 breaches open for her ability to make any sense. So I did screw the pooch a little bit on that. Okay. Brahma. Discard 2 non-corruption cards. Suffer 2 damage. Brings me down to 3. Man. Shuffle any player's turn order card back into the turn order deck. And suffer 2 damage. Brings him down to 1. Gain a Sifter's Pearl, basically. Yeah, that's brutal. Okay. Mage's Talisman gives 1 to her. And Sifter's Pearl gives 2, which I will use to buy a charge. And then activate her ability to heal. So she goes back up to 5 life. Because, holy crap. Taking way too much damage. But the Sifter's Pearl does let them both look. And I will discard that crystal. The only good news about that is her turn card went back into the deck. Alright, Kadir. Gravehold suffers 2 damage. Look at the top card of your deck. You may destroy it. Okay, I'll destroy a crystal. But that brings Gravehold down to 15. I will cast Chaos Arc on the Corruptor. And 3 damage. Gain a corruption card. I'll prep Ignite. Still can't do anything with those 2 sparks, so I only draw 3 cards. Two corruption cards. Oh man, it's not good. Nemesis goes. That does 1 damage to Gravehold. I'm going to lose this game. And we get the Venomite. It's going to be 9. I do not have the firepower. I need those breaches open. Alright, Brahma. She's going to prep Oblivion Swell. And she generates 4, 5, 6 power, 7 towards the spell. Arcane Nexus. Oh, wait. I forgot about the Oblivion Swell. That generates an additional power. So let me just double check. 2, 4, 5, 7, 8 towards the spell. Okay. So in that case, I will actually buy Focusing Orb and Ignite. And the Sifter's Pearl activates. And they will both keep. Okay. I will cast Oblivion Swell and discard a Sifter's Pearl to do 5 damage to the Venomite. Prep Buried Light. Use the Mage's Talisman to generate a charge. I will use Kadir's ability, Otherworldly Gate, but I'm using it with Brahma. I'll pull out Oblivion Swell, Ignite, and a Spark. And I can double prep. I'll prep and Ignite. Crystal just goes away. I have to hold on to these 3. So I get to draw 2. That didn't feel like a very good turn, but yeah. So for 1 damage, gain 1 charge. Kadir's down to 2 life. Give that to Brahma. Gain a spell from any supply pile. Arcane Nexus. Gain 3 corruptions and place them on top of your deck. 1, 2, 3. No, I'll keep that, actually. So not very good. The Ignite is going to go off. I'm just going to kill the Corruptor. Get him out of here. And that gives me the last corruption card. So my next, they're all going to be corruption cards. It's going to suck. I'm going to prep in a Spark. Clouded Sapphire is worth 3. Plus it gives a charge to Brahma. So that's good. And with the 3, I'll buy Sifter's Pearl. But she draws 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. These should all be corruptions. Yep. So that's going to exhaust her. Unless I can heal her with Brahma first. Which is possible, I guess, but there's no gems, so that's, I'm only going to, I need 2 activations with Brahma before Kadir's next activation, or Kadir's going to become exhausted, and she'll have 0 breaches opened at that point. So, wait, man, sometimes this game makes me not very confident in myself. Okay, we do get Brahma first, that's good. She will cast Ignite and Buried Light. That's going to do 3 damage to the Venomite. Hey, that rhymed. That'll generate 1 charge and 1 power. So it does give me a charge. Huh. That actually does work out. Because with that power and the crystal, I can buy another charge. Very cool. And the Mage's Talisman will give them each a charge. Very nice. So I can actually use Brahma's special ability. And I will heal Kadir 4. Gives her 6 life. Yay! That makes me feel a lot better. And I'll prep Oblivion Swell. I gotta hold on to the 2 sparks. 1, 2, 3. 2 corruption cards. Man. Of course, all the corruption cards are already in my hand, so I get it. Yeah, all right. Well, at least I was able to save Kadir. So 4 cards. I'm just gonna do them. I'm not even going to read them first. Suffer 1 damage. You may destroy. Spark. Sure. Okay. Gravehold suffers 3 damage. Brings it down to 11. You gain 2 life. Okay. Brings it back up to 7. Suffer 1 damage. Okay. Brings me to 6. Deal 2. And I'll just kill the Venomite. No. I'll do 2 Crooked Mask, because she has a Spark. Okay. And gain a relic from any relic supply pile. Place on top of her deck. Suffer damage equal to half its cost, rounded up. So I can get a Focusing Orb for 2 damage, or a Mage's Talisman for 3. I'll take the Focusing Orb, because I need those anyway. And that's 2 damage. So that leaves her with exactly 4 life, which is how much she got healed by. So she would have been exhausted, even with that healing card in there. So I'll mitigate it. All right. And so she's going to cast Spark, kill the Venomite. So that makes me feel a little better. Brahma's got 5 life. Kadir's got 4. I survived that round cards, and oh, sorry, I didn't mean to bump the camera. And everything is clear. But yeah, I'm just barely skating by. All right. Oblivion. Oh, no. Got to do these first. Gravehold takes 2 damage. Brings me down to 9. Focus a breach. Allows me to open a 4th breach, so that's nice. Give that to Kadir. Suffer 1 damage. Brings me down to 4. Turn any card that costs 0 to your hand. Crystal. Or, yeah, crystal. That's fine. I was going to do grab buried light, but no. Okay. I think I'll hold on to the Oblivion Swell for this turn. Oh, no. No, I don't. Well, I don't want to cast it. Only does 2 damage if I don't. No, I'll just leave it. I will prep a spark to the 4th breach. And that generates a power along with 2 here. And I will buy a Sifter's Pearl. So that both my mages have 4 life. So those heals were incredibly necessary. All right, we do get Nemesis. Nothing on the board, thankfully. But Pain Sower. 11 life. Deals 2 damage to any player. Lets me focus breaches at least, but I really can't afford to let him wail on me. And he does activate. Okay, Brahma's going to take that one. 2 damage. And that will focus Kadir's 4th breach. And we draw a card. Twisting Madness. To discard 4 cards in hand and draw 1. Power 2, Gravehold gains 3 life, Crooked Mask gains 13. So I think I was misplaying this incorrectly before, because I was discarding out of turn, which I didn't see any problem with. Like, I would just discard 4 cards from my hand right now. I would actually discard corruption cards. I thought that was one of the ways that you could do that. But, see, this is a problem, because like if I had 2 corruption cards here, I'd only have 3 cards. Wouldn't even be able to do it. But we'll just play with the new rules. Makes it harder. Okay, Kadir's turn. Nothing prep, no corruptions, so that's nice. She's going to start with a focusing orb and open that 4th breach. She will then prep Chaos Arc and Spark. She will use the Emerald Shard to heal Brahma 1. And Searing Ruby is worth 2 power, so that's a charge. You know what? I'm actually going to focus that 2nd breach. It's not enough to open it. Could have opened it for 3, but I can still focus it for 2. Yeah. So, I have a chance at winning this game, but I put it around like 5%. 5%, 10% max. I don't see it, because he's going to unleash, and that just does damage directly to Gravehold. I don't have my breaches anywhere close to open. I do have 3 focusing orbs now, but how often am I going to get them? And then I got to come around again before I can start destroying them. I really do need those breaches open, so I can't just not focus the breaches either. So here's hoping for some magic. Start with Brahma. Suffer 2 damage. Place the gem from the least expensive supply pile, so Sifter's Pearl. Put it in her hand, so that's nice. I will leave it there. Okay. Okay. Then I will cast Oblivion Swell with the Sifter's Pearl. So that upgrades that to 5 damage. Spark is going to deal 2. So that's 7 damage to the Pain Sower. Bring him from 11 to 4. I will then discard all 4 of these cards to get rid of Twisting Madness. Good. So, problem, she has 1 life, no charges. It is her turn again. Focus Orb. I'm actually going to use that to... Yeah, 3rd breach. And then 4, 6, 7 power. 8 towards a spell. Ignite, Focusing Orb. And 2 Sifter's Pearls allow me to look and discard twice. Keep and discard. Nemesis. It's going to do 2 damage to Kadir. Focus, 3rd breach. Sunder. Greyfold suffers 4 damage, and the player with the lowest life suffers 4 damage. This is a tier 3 card. Or shuffle all Nemesis turn order cards into the turn order deck. I don't even know how I'm going to save Brahma from being exhausted at this point. Okay, Kadir. Chaos Arc is going to do 4 damage and kill the Pain Sower. So that's nice. Nice little consolation prize. I'm about to lose. That brings us down to 57. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't announce it. So I'm going to cast Spark. That's going to do 1 damage. And that's going to bring it down to 57. I'm then going to prep Ignite. Focus Orb will open my 2nd breach. And then I can generate 4 power, 5 towards the spell. Grab that last Focus Orb, maybe. Yeah. Just hold out hope that I can get my breaches open. I don't see how it's possible, honestly, at this point. I get the breaches open, start healing Greyfold, and heal my mages, but I don't know. I don't know the tier 3 cards very well. Doom Aegis. To discard, spend 7 Aether. The player with the most charges suffers 4 damage and loses all of their charges. So that would exhaust... And that's power 1. Ooh. So not likely that's going to happen. I do get Kadir next, but she only has 1 power on deck. And corruption cards are going to exhaust her anyway. So Greyfold takes 2 damage. We'll do that one first. Look at the top card of your deck. You may destroy this. Discard 2 non-corruption cards, suffer 2 damage. So that exhausts her. So that destroys her first breach. She loses her charges. And he unleashes twice, so that's 4 more damage to Gravehold. Brings me down to 3. Ugh. So she casts Ignite for 3 damage. Bringing 54. Then preps Arcane Nexus. And that's her turn. Yeah, I got no shot. Nemesis goes. Power 1, the player with the most charges. Neither of them have any charges. Suffers 4 damage and loses all their charges. So that kills. That's a game ender. Brahma has 1 life. So she can't take the hit. I do get to choose. But if Kadir takes the hit, it's 8 damage to Gravehold. And I only have 3 life. And this would have killed Brahma. That's a game. So Brahma just getting an activation is a game ender. And this is 5 damage to Gravehold, which is also a game ender. So it didn't matter. There was nothing I could do at that point. So even going for those Mage's Talismans really early. So I grabbed 3 Mage's Talismans, 4 Ignites, and a Clouded Sapphire. And even with that, just going all in on charge generation, I only got off Kadir's ability once and Brahma's twice. So that's still not good enough. And part of it's the deck curation thing. Now, if I was also getting rid of the sparks and crystals, you know, my Mage's Talismans would have come up more often, my Ignites, my Clouded Sapphires. But so would the Corruption card. So I would have taken, I would have needed more healing to negate the Corruption cards. And the cards, 5 charges for Brahma for 4 points of healing. I take 4 points of damage pretty quickly with those Corruption cards. So I don't know. I'm stumped. I'm really stumped here, guys. What do I do? What do I do? I could go with Lash and Mist. Get extra activations through Lash. And draw more cards with Mist to kind of speed up that part of the game. But again, that just makes you draw Corruptions more often. And I lose all my healing ability by doing that. In fact, I take damage using Lash's ability. So, I get extra activations, but I also take damage for it. So, I feel like that would burn out really quick. So this is one where I'm having a lot of trouble keeping the mages alive. Life is hard for them, but I'm also having trouble keeping Gravehold alive. Yeah. I could really use something that does 6 damage early. So that's basically Dark Fire or Consuming Void. To take out that Corruptor in one hit and only gain 1 Corruption card from it. Without letting him, do 7 damage to Gravehold over those turns. I could go back to using amplified vision with the focusing orbs, although it's kind of a waste because they're the same price. But I can get amplified visions early so that I have some offense, and then I'm assess early while opening breaches, and then grab focusing orbs so that I can open them. I don't know. I want to curate the deck, but that takes so long too. There's no great way to, maybe Consuming Void would probably be the best way to do it. Because I could actually, there's no real way to mitigate these. They do too much damage to Greyfold, so I have to use Focusing Orbs. They do damage to the mages, so I kind of am stuck with Kadir, or probably I got to use at least one of them. Or Essence Stuffs. I'll just go all in on Essence Stuffs. But that discards cards too, and you don't have enough cards. So, when you're already in a situation where, hey, I have 2 corruptions, so my hand is only 3 cards, I do not want to be playing a card that forces me to discard them. So Essence Stuff kind of hurts there. So does Oblivion Swell. Kind of want to get rid of that. And then your decks get so big that the charge generation from Mage's Talisman and Clouded Sapphire almost don't even make sense. So maybe I'll just get rid of those. Put in like Blasting Staff or something. Also, Unstable Prism doesn't really make sense because it's the same cost as Sifter's Pearl, and I would rather just take those. Flexing Dagger doesn't make sense because I need the Focusing Orbs. Ball Vortex is 3 cost, but I'd rather take Sifter's Pearls. So I can't really think of anything to replace Mage's Talisman with. Doesn't make sense to replace rubies with diamonds. Maybe I could replace rubies with jades or something like that. Which is what I was doing before. Jade, Sifter's Pearl, Ruby. I might go back to Burning Opal. I think Burning Opal makes more sense than the Sapphire. Oh man, I don't know what to do. Anyway, I'm going to stop talking out loud. If you guys have any suggestions, I am open to it, and I'm going to try to figure this out off camera. All right, guys. Have a good one. Wish you the best. Bye-bye.